I'm going to do a mock draft with no trades. I'm not going to try to speculate. My belief is there are not enough great players to trade up for. Even the top edge rusher, Will Anderson, there are rumors now he's sliding because people are not quite sure if he's just a pass rusher. He did regress a little this year. We love Jalen Carter, but Jalen Carter's got baggage. Some franchises want no part of that. We've got two good corners are either great. We've got good quarterbacks, but even Bryce Young looks tiny. So I don't believe in the top 8 to 10 you're going to have a lot of movement up. I think people are going to sit back. They're going to do a Chargers. They're going to do a Tom Telesco. They're just going to sit and wait and see what falls. I'm not giving up draft capital for – I've been told by 2 GMs in this league that it's the shallowest first round they can remember. There's just not a lot of stars. Usually you get to about pick 17, 18, and you got those guys are going to play, and then you wish everybody else was a second-round salary. This draft is closer to 11 to 12 guys who feel like first-round picks. So in that case, if it's a shallow first round, that doesn't mean it's not going to be an exciting draft. There's a lot of quarterbacks in it. And I think it'll be an exciting draft. But I don't think it's worth giving up a lot of draft capital to move up to get good edge rushers. We don't have even a Hutchinson this year. We don't have a Bosa. So that's my takeaway is I think the teams are going to sit back mostly, even the quarterbacks. Next year, you'd move up for Caleb Williams or a Drake May. You'd give up 5, 6, 7 picks. Those are move up to get guys. Is Will Levis a move up? I mean, Indianapolis has holes to solve. They're going to give up 4 picks? They can't. They need them.
Yeah. The uncertainty is exciting. I think there's going to be a big ratings number for the draft tonight. But I do want to point out, Colin, if I looked it up, last 5 years, there have not been a lot of draft day trade-ups into the top 5 or top 10.
Yeah.
If you want to move up, you get up early and really control the draft of who you want at the top.
Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do no trades. I'm just going to give you the top 10, and I'm going to give you a reason why I think everybody makes their pick. Are we ready to go on this? Let's go number 1. I think the Panthers have used 8 different starting quarterbacks over the last 5 seasons. They're going to stabilize the position and get Bryce Young. Again, how great is he? I don't know. I think he stabilizes it. If you look at what the franchise did in the offseason, from the head coach to the assistant coaches to the staff, they built an organization ready to help and assist and protect a quarterback. And so I think Carolina is doing it the right way. They built a staff that's very quarterback friendly. They'll get Bryce Young. I think the Texans are going to go get Jalen Carter with the 2nd pick. I think he's the best player I saw. Their defense last year was pathetic against the rush, last in the league. They have a defensive coach, DeMeco Ryans, in 12 picks. I think he's going to use this draft to fix the defense and then next year go get a quarterback. They were so bad through the middle defensively, and Jalen Carter, I think, solves it. I think the Cardinals then get Will Anderson. So they had a couple of defensive line losses. J.J. Watt's now into broadcasting. Zach Allen went to the Broncos. So they need people up front in that division where you got Kyle Shanahan and you got Sean McVay. You got to have players up front. They have a new coach. He's a defensive coach. And they allowed 52 touchdowns last year. That was second to the Bears. So again, I don't know how good Will Anderson is. Certainly an argument he's the best edge rusher. You don't have to move up to get him. Arizona takes him at 3. I think the Colts get Will Levis, the quarterback. Here's why. They've had Matt Ryan, unathletic average arm. They've had Phillip Rivers, unathletic old okay arm. He gives them a little bit of Andrew Luck. Bright, athletic, can move, nice arm. I think if you squint, you can see a little Andrew Luck, and I think that's enough for Jim Irsay. Number 5, the Seahawks. I think they could move down potentially if they didn't like people, but Tyree Wilson, you got to have an edge rusher, and I think they go get him. Is he ready to play? I don't know. But the last time they had a double-digit sack guy in Seattle was Frank Clark, and that's 5 years ago. So Pete Carroll's a defensive coach. His best teams at USC and Seattle had good edge rushers. I think that's their pick. The Lions pick 6. Again, I'm doing no move up. I'm going to do Christian Gonzalez, the physical specimen corner from Oregon. Last year, they were atrocious against the pass. They had bad corners, third worst pass defense. Also, they traded in the offseason their former number 3 overall pick, Jeff Okudah, the corner. So I think they stabilized corner. They went in the offseason and solved some of their corner issues, but I think this is where they go. Then I think they go to the interior of their D-line in later rounds. The Raiders get Devon Witherspoon, the corner from Illinois. They have a bad secondary, so they're going to take a corner. I don't. Again, maybe they trade up, but they got Garoppolo for a year. I think they can go get a Max Duggan later at quarterback and let him sit behind Jimmy for a couple of years. But they allowed the highest passer rating in the NFL last year for quarterbacks. They got to get better at corner, and they get one. Now my surprise. Falcons take Bijan Robinson, the running back. Here's why. Offensive coach. They've got their tight end. They've got their left tackle. They have good tackles. Young running back fills the bill. It'll help Desmond Ridder or the quarterback next year. I've been told he is as clean as any draft pick. Checks every single box. A little LaDainian Tomlinson. He can catch. He can run. He stays healthy. He's coachable. He will play day one. And they're looking at building this offense behind Arthur Smith. So the O-line was top 5 in the league last year. They don't have an absolute need there. They do need to get other receivers later in the draft. But I think they're setting it up. They want to see what they have with Desmond Ridder and an offensive coach. If he can play, he can. If not, with these offensive pieces, there's no excuses, plus an offensive coach. 9, the Bears stay local, get the best overall offensive lineman, Peter Skoronski, the Northwestern kid. He can play guard, tackle, probably play center. Justin Fields was the most sacked quarterback in the league. Here's why I like him. He's such a high-functioning Northwestern kid, like a Rashawn Slater. He'll come in and start. A lot of people forget last year they played a rookie at left tackle, a kid named Braxton Jones. So I don't think they're going to get a tackle. He was the 9th highest-graded left tackle as a rookie out of Southern Utah. So I would argue they feel they've got their tackle for the next 4 years and don't have to pay him. They're not very good on the interior of the O-line. Keep it local with a Northwestern kid who will play immediately. And number 10, the Eagles. Who was complaining last year for Philadelphia's offense about not getting the ball? A.J. Brown. Howie Roseman says, you know what? We're going to get a receiver. Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State. He's a great slot receiver. Last year, Quez Watkins, I think, didn't he do some Eagles slot receiving work? I think they're going to go get this kid. A.J. Brown started grumbling last year because they used the tight ends a lot and Donovan Smith that he wasn't getting the touches. So the Eagles protect themselves. They get perhaps the only first-round receiver grade out there. Some people like Jordan Addison. Some people like Flowers, the kid at BC, the TCU receiver. That's kind of what I would go at. Now mine doesn't have any trades. I got no trades. Okay.